Hello again, Duelists. I'm here today with Yugi's Legendary decks, just in time for the holiday season. It's in this beautiful gold box based on the box that Yugi's Millennium Puzzle came in, before he assembled it, of course. In this box you have 3 decks used by Yugi throughout the course of the series. You have his Duelist Kingdom deck, his Battle City deck, and a combination of the decks used by Yugi and the Pharaoh during their final battle in Egypt. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we got inside here. So we've got the 3 decks there. We've already unwrapped them for you. But in addition to that, there are also a number of extra cards that go with it. So let's start from the beginning with Duelist Kingdom. The very first thing that Yugi got when he was getting ready for Duelist Kingdom was that box from Pegasus with the videotape. Everybody remembers the videotape as the enchanted item that Pegasus used to duel him through the television and eventually steal Grandpa's soul. But it also came with the dueling gauntlet, star chips needed to play in the Duelist Kingdom tournament, and a set of these cards. You needed the set sail for the Kingdom card to get on the boat to Duelist Kingdom. You had to have the Duelist Kingdom card in your possession at all times, acted as your sort of your passport to be on Pegasus's island. And then there were another pair of cards, Glory of the King's Hand and Glory of the King's Opposite Hand, that you needed to enter the finals and claim the prizes. Glory of the King's Hand was the card you needed to claim the $3 million prize. The other one, Glory of the King's Opposite Hand, which was blank and not really appropriate to give out, was needed to challenge Pegasus for a whatever your wish would be. And it was blank because that is where your soul would go after he inevitably beat you. So, the Duelist Kingdom deck, this is based on the original deck that Yugi got from his grandfather. So he has all of the Exodia pieces in it. You've got your legs, you've got your arms, you've got the head of Exodia, the Forbidden One, and they are all ultra rares, as they were when they first released so many years ago in Legend of Blue Eyes White Dragon. Speaking of original, you also have the original arts of both Dark Magician and Dark Magician Girl. This was originally seen in Magician's Force and Dark Magician. This one is from the very first starter deck Yugi. And other highlights from the Duelist Kingdom deck include the original Blackluster Soldier and its Blackluster Ritual. You saw these cards originally when Yugi used them to beat Mai in the semifinals of the Duelist Kingdom tournament. And this is of particular note because right before this comes out on November 13th, there is also Dimension of Chaos, which has a new theme based entirely on Blackluster Soldier. And you can actually use these cards along with some of the cards from Dimension of Chaos, like the new Gaia, Beginning Night and Evening Twilight Night, and Super Soldier Soul. So if you pick up any of these cards from your Dimension of Chaos packs, and you also get Yugi's Legendary decks, go ahead and try some of these out. It is worth having a couple in your deck. In addition to all that, you've got many of the other cards that Yugi used in Duelist Kingdom, including the very first appearance of the infamous Gryff War. So after Duelist Kingdom was all over, they played some Dungeon Dice Monsters as well with Duke Devlin, and then they got to the Battle City Tournament. And the Battle City Tournament was started by Kaiba after he got Obelisk the Tormentor from Ishizu as a method to get the other 2 Egyptian god cards as well. You'll get all 3 of these in your Yugi's Legendary decks. These are the unplayable versions with the colored background, not the playable effect monster versions. So just know that ahead of time. These are the collector's items, but they're still very popular, and they're cards that every duelist will want at least one copy of in their collection, just because of how historically valuable they are. In terms of cards from Battle City, well, Yugi obviously had the Dark Magician, but he also got a second copy of it off of Arcana after he beat him beneath the circus tent. This is the very first time that Arcana's Dark Magician has been printed, and this is the only place that you can get it. So if you've been looking for this card, waiting for it for a long time, here's your time to shine. You can finally pick it up in Yugi's Legendary decks. Now, Yugi's actual strategy during Battle City was actually It was Egyptian god cards without Egyptian god cards. For example, he played Valkyrion the Magna Warrior, along with Alpha, Beta, and Gamma the Magna Warriors. These three could combine to form the 3500 attack Valkyrion, which had a higher attack than basically anything except, of course, an actual Egyptian god card like Obelisk the Tormentor. The card that Yugi used to try to fight against Slifer the Sky Dragon when he first saw it was Buster Blader. And if you've been keeping up with our website, you'll know that the upcoming Breakers of Shadow booster set has a new deck theme based on Buster Blader. And, of course, it works with the original Buster Blader as well. So if you are interested in Buster Blader and that theme from Breakers of Shadow, make sure to keep in mind that you get a couple copies of Buster Blader in Yugi's Legendary decks. And you also have the second art of Dark Magician Girl in there, and other stalwarts of Yugi's strategies like Swords of Revealing Light, which you saw in the very first duel in Battle City against the Rare Hunter, and Mirror Force, which you see pretty much everywhere. Another thing you get in Yugi's Legendary decks are 3 new cards that haven't appeared anywhere else before. And this is a good time to introduce them because one of them is one of the more memorable cards from the Battle City tournament, which is Dark Renewal. This is another one of Arcana's cards that he used to special summon a Dark Magician. In addition, you get Electromagnetic Turtle, which was used in the Battle City Finals. When Yugi dueled against Kaiba, this card was instrumental in defeating Kaiba's plot to power up Obelisk to beat Slifer. And you also get Black Illusion, which is from way later on. These are also only available in Yugi's Legendary decks. And finally, you have the decks used in the ceremonial battle. Little Yugi is the focus here, so you've got his gadget monsters. Gadgets have been popular forever in terms of gameplay value because they can search each other out when they're summoned, giving you a basically endless supply of monsters as long as you can keep your deck full of gadgets. But a lot of people don't realize that these were originally used by Yugi in the final battle. He also used the Silent Swordsman series of monsters. Level monsters can level up based on different actions taken during a duel. So if Silent Swordsman survives a whole turn and gets to your standby phase, you can send it to the graveyard and summon level 5 from your deck. I actually used level 5 quite a bit when it first came out in Flaming Eternity because it's unaffected by all your opponent's spell cards. And if you can fulfill the condition on Swordsman level 5, you can get to Swordsman level 7, and that just prevents all spell effects completely. It's like a permanent Imperial Order. Those aren't the only level monsters he used, though. There were also the Silent Magicians. They are also in Yugi's Legendary decks. And you also have cards that were used by Big Yugi as well, like Dark Magician Girl. This also has a copy of Dark Paladin in it, and an interesting thing that a lot of people might not have realized, but in addition, Dark Paladin can be used with the Eye of Timaeus from last year's Dragons of Legend set. Normally you use Dark Magician and Dark Magician Girl for Amulet Dragon and Dark Magician Girl the Dragon Knight, but you can also use Eye of Timaeus for Dark Paladin because it names Dark Magician as one of its materials. So if you've got some copies of Eye of Timaeus sitting around that you've been looking for something new to use them with, this could be something to do. And that about wraps it up. You get 3 complete decks used by the King of Games himself. You get 3 new cards not available anywhere else. That's these again. You get the 3 historical cards that granted entry into the Duelist Kingdom tournament and the ability to claim its prizes. You get the Egyptian God cards, and you even get a special ultra-rare token featuring the Pharaoh as well. Yugi's Legendary Decks comes out on November 13th. It's a great deal. Check it out on our website if you want a little more information about it. And we hope you enjoy it because we really enjoyed making this product. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Yu-Gi-Oh!_TCG on Twitter. That's Yu-Gi-Oh! All one word, no hyphens, _TCG. And we're at Official Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG on Facebook and YouTube as well. Of course, you already probably know about YouTube because that's where you're watching this. That'll do it. I'll see you later.